Hi and welcome to the shop. I'm Jessica and I would like to invite you to participate in a sweater ornament contest. You are welcome to cut out your own sweater shape. Of course, it has to be from metal. And if you want to grab something easy, you can also go over to blacksmithingblinks.com and grab one of ours that are made from either copper, stainless steel, or mild steel. Once you've made up your ugly sweater metal ornament, make sure to tag us over on Instagram or Facebook at Chrysler and Ironworks using hashtag #BlacksmithSweater. For the prizes, we will have gift cards to our website, www.blacksmithingblinks.com. First place will get $100, second place will get $50, and third place will get $25. Make sure to post your entry by December 13th at 11:59 p.m. because we will be announcing the winners on December 15th on the Great Blacksmith Christmas Giveaway, and we will announce the winners and show some photographs also of everybody's awesome Christmas sweater ornaments. This is open worldwide, and by the way, I will write out the full rules down in the description below. Now let's get to the kiln and we're going to enamel a Christmas sweater ourselves. Here we have a copper ornament that I've drilled a hole in, and I'm just going to clean one side of it off with a Scotch-Brite pad to make sure there's no dust or residue on the surface. Now this is on the back of the piece. I'm going to apply some counter enamel, which is technically just a mix of other colors that I don't want to go to waste. Now this ornament is 10 gauge, so technically I don't have to do this step, but it's just a nice thing to do, and especially when I work with thinner materials, this is required. So I'm going to go ahead and do it to this piece, and the thing I'm holding in my hand is called a sifter. It's a lot like sifting powdered sugar. So I'm just going to go really good around the edges and make sure we have good coverage. Alright, so I have my piece on a wired rack. It's only has enamel on the front side right now, nothing on the back, so I can use it directly on this rack. I'm going to use a firing fork to lift it and set it into the kiln. Try to leave the door open as short as possible. And right now I'm using a Paragon SC2 kiln, and I have it set to 1450 degrees. It drops when the door goes open, but it'll heat right back up to it. Alright, so in total I've had it in the kiln for about 3 minutes. The whole piece is up to a dull red, and the surface now is a nice glossy coat. So the enamel is basically powdered glass, and it's about the consistency of powdered sugar, and as it fires it turns into a nice smooth surface, which is what we're wanting. So now it's got to cool. Since this is 10 gauge, it'll take several minutes. So while that cools, I think I'll tell you this. I don't think a kiln is necessary in order to enamel. If you're in a blacksmith shop and you have a forge, either a coal forge or a gas forge, I think if you had a wire tray, you'd be able to place your metal on the tray and heat it up to a dull red, pull it out, and sprinkle your enamel on. I've done a little bit of experimenting with that, and I've been able to successfully get the enamel to fuse. And even if it doesn't fully fuse on the first coat, as long as it's at least started fusing to the surface, you could stick it back over your heat source and get it the rest of the way heated to where it's fully fused. And so yeah, I think that's definitely an option for blacksmiths out there. Now when it comes out of the kiln, we have our enameled side, and then we're going to have a side here that has scale on it, and we have to remove it. So you can do that with some sandpaper just to get the scale off. And I also have a Scalex number 2. It's a type of pickle for copper that can be used as well. So whatever method you choose, you've got to get the scale off before you go to enameling the front side of your piece. Alright, now I'm going to counter enamel the back of this little anvil element I'm using. This is a keychain from our store, and I think this will be a nice little element to my Christmas sweater. So I just sift some of that on there, and it's going to go in the kiln. Alright, anvils are ready to go in. Alright, so now I'm ready to sift on the front of my little anvils, which I have now sanded. I'm ready to sift on some Thompson enamel, 1995 black, and I am just going to use a smaller sifter for this, and just sift right onto the anvils. I'm going to get a fairly thick coat for this because I want good coverage. Now one of these is for this project and one of them is for another project. So there we go, that's looking pretty good. Alright, now I'm going to apply some 1030 Foundation White from Thompson Enamel onto the top or the front side of this sweater. This is going to be my show side, and so for the base I want white as my base color, and that way my other colors will really pop against it. This is fired on, it's cooled off, and now I'm ready to add my next layer. I'm going to do a gradient. I'm going to have goldenrod yellow up towards the top, followed by flame orange, and then flame red at the bottom. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to do this roughly on the top third, something like that, and it's okay if it goes a little over because I can cover however much I need to with the next coating, the flame orange. So we'll do something like that, and come along with this, and go like that, I think, and then I can, you know, transition it with like just a little light tapping there to kind of, yeah, give it a nice transition. Come along here towards the edges. Make sure you got the edges nicely, okay. And then lastly, we're gonna go with, kind of looks like a candy corn there. All right, and then finally, come along with flame red and sift that on heavily at the bottom, and then to transition it, I can lightly go just above that to give that gradient effect. So there we go. Alright, it's cool to the touch. I'm now going to add some little seed beads, and I'm going to put my anvil decoration on the top. It's been enameled on both sides, so when I set it on here and it goes in the kiln, it's just going to fuse to the top. Now, in the meanwhile, while I'm setting all my pieces where I want them to be, I'm going to use a little bit of just clear fusing and put that on top, and that'll just kind of keep my beads from rolling around while I'm getting all my pieces set in place. Alright, well this is how my ugly Christmas sweater ornament turned out. I look forward to seeing everybody's entries for the contest. Again, make sure you follow the rules down in the description to enter by December 13th. And also, if you are interested in trying out some enameling, there will be some playlists linked down in the description. And of course, we have lots and lots of copper blanks just recently added to our website, www.blacksmithingblanks.com. Thank you for joining me, and have a blessed day.